With the Grizzlies defeating the Warriors last night, we finally have the 2021 NBA playoffs set. And like we do every year, we're going to simulate it inside of NBA 2K21 to see if they can predict the playoffs. A quick recap of what they predicted last year. They predicted the Clippers would beat the Bucks in the NBA Finals 4-2, which, as we all know, did not happen. It was the Lakers beating the Heat. Let's go ahead and jump into this year's playoffs. We got everything set up here inside of 2K21. Hopping into our first series of the first round, Danny Green choking that free throw. We got the 76ers versus the Wizards. 76ers currently up 3-0, and this game is all tied up. If the 76ers win here, they move on to the second round. Let's see what the Wizards got, though. Of course, getting in through the play-in tourney. I want you guys to go down below and leave a comment on which team you think is going to win in real life. A huge steal there by Ben Simmons and the windmill slam. 76ers with the 3-point lead. Westbrook driving. Nice floater. Gets it to go. And now the Wizards are going to have to foul. So they're going to inbound it to Shake Milton to Dwight. Why would they give it to Dwight for the free throws? The worst possible thing they could have done is given it to Dwight Howard. He at least hits one free throw, gives them a 2-point lead. But if the Wizards hit a 3 here. Westbrook pulling up. That is no good. And they're going to foul one more time. Let's see what Ben Simmons can do at the line. I think it's over. There's only 0.2 seconds left. And yeah, this one is all over. The 76ers sweeping the Wizards in the first round. Hopping into our next series, we got the Hawks versus the Knicks. And the Hawks are going to win this series pretty easily. They win it in game number 5, defeating the Knicks 4-1. I think this should be a pretty good series in real life. I definitely don't think the Hawks are going to win this easily. Next is the Nuggets versus the Trailblazers, and Jamal Murray is still injured. I kept injuries on for the simulation. That way it was as realistic as we could make it. But despite not having Jamal Murray, they're going to defeat the Trailblazers 4-1. Mavericks versus the Clippers, and yet again we got a 4-1 series victory, this time for the LA Clippers. Next up is the Lakers versus the Suns. Yet again another 4-1 victory, this time for the LA Lakers. I kind of feel bad for the Suns. They had a great season, get the second seed, and now they're forced to face off against the LA Lakers in round number 1. Our next series is the Jazz versus the Grizzlies, and despite this final game being a blowout, Grizzlies forced it to a game number 6. Unfortunately, Jazz were just a little too good. Next up is Heat versus Bucks, and this one went to a game number 7, our first game 7 of the first round. I think will happen in real life as well. This will be a great matchup. But unfortunately in game 7, the Bucks just with a blowout victory. It wasn't close at all when they got their home court advantage. And moving into our final game of the first round, it was the Celtics versus the Nets. And surprisingly, this went to a game 7. Now, for some reason, 2K uninjured Jaylen Brown, even though he will not be playing. Otherwise, I think in real life, it's just going to be a sweep for the Nets. But Nets still getting the W here. So moving on into the second round now. Not really any upsets in the first round. I guess maybe you could say the Atlanta Hawks. The Lakers were the 7 seed, but it's still not really an upset. Let's see which teams will make it to the conference finals. Jumping into the first series of the second round, we got a really close game here. Game number 6 between the Nets and the Bucks. Now the Bucks actually have the lead right now. So if they win this game, they are moving on to the conference finals. We're all tied up. 10 seconds to go. Giannis with the ball. Let's see what he is going to do. Great defense by Durant. Giannis, the tough shot. It is no good. Durant, the full court shot is no good either. So we are going to overtime. And in OT, I accidentally skipped through the entire overtime. The Bucks take the lead, and they are actually going to defeat the Brooklyn Nets. A huge upset right here. I definitely picked the Nets in real life, and the Bucks are our first team to advance to the conference finals. Our next series is another really close game. We have the Jazz versus the Clippers. Game 6 again. Clippers up 3-1, and the Jazz now with the 1-point lead with that bucket right there. So getting a bucket here will probably secure the Clippers moving on to the Western Conference Finals. Oh, and Paul George with a wide open bucket. Where is the defense? Donovan Mitchell with the ball. He's going to pull up from 3. It is no good, and the Clippers are moving on to the Western Conference Finals. Next series, we have a Game 7 between the Nuggets and the Lakers. Lakers are up by 6 points in this final game. Let's see if the Nuggets, they got a little bit of time to come back here. Jokic, I don't know why he put up that one. I mean, he puts them up in real life and somehow hits them. But now it's pretty much game over for the Lakers. AD not able to hit that shot, giving the Nuggets another chance. Will Barton from 3, that is no good. And they're going to have to foul the Lakers, and that is going to be game over. Lakers defeating the Nuggets in Game 7. And our final series of the second round was Hawks versus 76ers. And I don't know how the Hawks forced 7 games here, but they did. This final game, a little bit of a blowout by the 76ers. I mean, it's not a blowout, but they are going to get the W here in Game 7, and the 76ers advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. So checking out our conference finalists now. In the West, we have the 2 LA teams facing off, and in the East, we got the 76ers and the Bucks. So I'm just going to go ahead and simulate game by game here so we can check out the score throughout the series. Clippers take the 2-1 lead, 76ers finally getting a game. The Clippers and the Bucks both taking a 3-1 lead here. And I simulated way too deep into this game by accident, but the Bucks are going to defeat the 76ers in Game 5 and advance to the NBA Finals. I thought this series was going to be a lot closer, but the Bucks just rolling through the Sixers. And moving on to our other series, we are all tied up here in Game 5. If the Clippers win this, they move on to the NBA Finals. The Lakers win, well, they force another game. For some reason, Kawhi Leonard is not in the game right now. Paul George pulls up from mid-range, can't hit it. Interesting strat. They got to post AD up again. LeBron, tough shot, is no good. Gets his own board, and he scores with 2.9 seconds left. All right, hopefully the Clippers go for a 3 and the win here. I'm guessing they're going to try to get this to Paul George, and they do. He's going to have to put up the deep 3. It is no good, so the Lakers force another game. And Game 6 is another really close one. Right now, Clippers up by 2 with 50 seconds left. Kawhi's actually in the game this time, bricks that shot. Not sure why he went up for that one. Paul George locking up LeBron right now. LeBron cannot do anything. Andre Drummond clutching up. Not something I think I'll be saying during the actual Lakers games. Why pulling up mid-range? Can't hit that. These guys are just taking some really bad shots here. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Got Andre Drummond in the post against Kennard, and Kennard with a huge steal. They call the timeout, and the Clippers can take the last shot here. So who would you give the ball to here? Kawhi Leonard or Paul George? I'm going to go with Kawhi Leonard. Get that clutch shot in Toronto. To BG, he's got to put up the tough shot. It is no good. We are going to overtime. And in overtime, the Clippers kind of just pulling away with this game here. They're up by 7 with 45 seconds left. I mean, it's still not over. If LeBron hits this, and he's going to. I mean, a few stops here. Why are they fouling? You do not need to foul in this moment. You just need to stop. Why Leonard wide open from mid-range, can't hit the shot. Lakers got to go quick here. LeBron, the tough layup, no good. Andre Drummond with the second chance points. It's a 2-point game now. Patrick Beverly at the line, hits one. No, he's going to miss the second. The Lakers can tie it up here. LeBron to Caldwell Pope, and he hits the 3 to tie the game. The Clippers with another chance this quarter to end it. This has actually been a really good series between the two teams in the game. If this were to happen in real life, I would not be disappointed at all. Patrick Beverly going to get it into Kawhi, fading away, and it's no good. Lakers get the timeout as well. So now the Lakers with a shot to force Game 7. Andre Drummond, you got to inbound it. Caldwell Pope, and Caldwell Pope hits it to force a Game 7. He hit that 3-pointer. He hit the 2 to win it. KCP clutching up. Now, unfortunately, game number 7 not nearly as close here. The Lakers with a huge blowout, winning 131 to 107. There wasn't a single quarter where the Clippers outscored them this game. So the Lakers are going to be our second team to make the NBA Finals, giving us a Lakers versus Bucks matchup. Let's hop into game 1 here. The Bucks take a 1-0 lead, and the Lakers tied up 1-1. Lakers with the 2-1 lead. Lakers with the 3-1 lead. And a close game here in game 5. Lakers up by 2 with a minute and a half left. LeBron with the tough layup. That's no good, and Giannis gets the board. Out to DiVincenzo from 3, and that is money. The Bucks take the 1-0 lead. Drew Holiday with a nasty dunk. The Bucks with a 3-point lead. Drew Holiday to DiVincenzo. Not a 3-pointer. He's going to drain it anyways. And it's looking like the Bucks are going to take this one unless the Lakers can score here. LeBron wide open from 3, and he greens it. So lead down to 2. They don't have to foul here, but in real life this happened in the Grizzlies-Warriors game today, where the Warriors didn't foul at the end, and then the Grizzlies ended up scoring, and it kind of cost them the game. But Lakers a little smarter, going to foul here and hope that Drew Holiday misses a free throw. That one looked like it might have missed. The second one, that's money. Nothing but net. So Lakers need another clutch shot here. And LeBron dunking over Bobby Portis. They're going to have to foul again here and hope yet again that Drew Holiday misses one free throw. And free throw number 2 is money as well. Drew is not missing. What is this, inbound? LeBron to KCP. And KCP can't hit the shot this time. I think this one's over now. It's Drew Holiday, and now he misses a 3. And Drew Holiday going 1 of 2 here. But that last game didn't really matter because game 6 is a complete blowout by the Lakers, winning by 24 points. They didn't give... The Bucks just had no chance when the Lakers have home court. So the Lakers are going to be our NBA champions according to NBA 2K, and honestly I agree with him. They are my pick to win the championship this year, despite being the 7th seed. I mean, they've been injured all season long, and I think LeBron and AD are going to have a crazy playoff series and win the championship back-to-back. There they are holding up the trophy. Let's see who's getting a Finals MVP. I'm guessing it's going to be LeBron. He had some great games throughout the series, and it is him, of course. Check out the stats for LeBron here. He had 26.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 12.8 assists, and he shot amazing from both the field goal and the three-point line, shooting nearly 60% from the three-point line. That is insane. But there we have it. That is NBA 2K21's prediction for this year's NBA playoffs. There's some games that I disagree on, but all in all, this was not a bad simulation at all. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Never at ease, I don't know a limit. Chasing a dream, I don't know what sleepers. I got a queen, she lit me to evening. She ripe like a peach and she snapped me to snippet. We well overdue for that link up in person. Text me to fall through its murder, she wrote it. Still up with courage, you're doing a service. Pull up to the crib, I'm equipped with the brush strokes. Cut throat from the low, when no love goes.